the citizens.
So you in this country, look at the other countries taking it, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
They don't spoil my business too much. They just too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Why they not kill us for Nigeria? Please, help us beg them.
They should reduce the expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
And the government, how can you hold in the mean? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DVS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
So if you are in support that the proviso, which enables the presiding officer to proceed to the next center for collation with the hard copy of the sign from EC8A, so collation can continue. If you are in support that the word proviso remains to enable the presiding officer to do so after imputing all the items, can you rise and raise your hand so that the public can see you? Come and count. Now, we don't want to see those. We want to see those who are saying if the transmission or communication fails, that the election stops there. Those opposed to the proviso, can you now stand up and raise your hand? Count. The results are as follows. Those who do not want any proviso are 15 in number. And those who want the proviso are 55 in number. And so the proviso says,
all right, the reason for the amendment of the Electoral Act in Nigeria right now is to work on the failures of the previous election. And despite the fact that we can't, totally dislodge the idea of manual recording of results, but there's still need for us to, advance in our processes, in our electoral processes. And this is the major conversation we are having this morning. On that note, I welcome you to Diamond Breakfast Show, the Thursday edition. My name remains Nedu, Okorie. My friends call me Mazio Dogu. Since you are my friend, you can call me Mazio Dogu. We'll be talking about the controversial signing of the Electoral Act by Mr. President. We'll be taking a look at the highlights and what the critics are saying concerning this and what it should be and what we should also expect from the run-up to the 2027 elections. Then from there, we'll move on to our second conversation, which is related to the prediction of the Naira appreciation by Aliko Dangote. Will this actually stand? This is the question we are asking this morning. All right, yesterday, President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Amendment Bill into law amid all the controversy and agitations going on from Nigerians and opposition figures as well as lawmakers. And the law is now called the Electoral Act 2026, which will oversee the 2027 presidential elections and governorship. In fact, all elections. It's like a legal framework that backs the election. And the National Assembly passed the bill on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, the president signed it. And this has actually caused various controversy. Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights, some of the things that occurred at the floor of the Senate before it was signed. Before it was signed, the Senate had a little drama. You heard that at the beginning. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, trying to, do like a voting to vote for that clause 60. The controversial part of this act is the clause 60 sub 3, which gives INEC the provision to make the Form EC8A, as a backup to the BVAS and the IRF in case there is no connectivity. So it is the BVAS machine is at the mercy of the Form EC8A, but I'm not here to discuss this alone. Let's take a look at various things that critics are saying. I'm being joined by Comrade Hamed at DME, who will discuss these issues. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome this morning. It's so good to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Now, to give you context of what happened at the floor of the Senate, a lot of controversy went down as the Committee of the Whole wanted a harmonization of the amendment, but some minority lawmakers demanded that there should be a clause-by-clause consideration. All those areas that needs amendment, they should look at it one after the other. Then when they got to clause 60, an agitation occurred. No, that proviso should be removed. That proviso should be left out and should be left there. And some critics have said that even the immediate signing by the president should be questioned. But some are also saying that it is very important that the president signs it immediately as the election is fast approaching.
Good morning once again.
Yeah, please. Good morning.
There are two things actually, because if you look at what the National Assembly has done, it's not the president's fault that he is signing it early than usual. Normally during any electoral reform that takes place, or because what we find out is that the president, especially Muhammadu Buhari, the last government, did not, even in 2019, did not sign any electoral bill. If you remember, electoral bill reform, he did not sign it. So what we're saying is the president has tried, as much as possible to sign it in the speed of light.
Okay.
But there are still some things to look at there. Okay. Whether the government, whether the president has done it in good faith, or whether he has done it in the way they have decided to do it the party has decided on their own to do it.
What are those things?
Because if you look at what happened, what happened in the House of Rep, it's a shame, that you will not allow the will of the people to come by, because if you see what happened in the House of Rep, what happened was trying to make sure that what they agreed in the party is what has taken place in the National Assembly. And how can you, as House of Rep members, have actually done their own reforms? They've actually planned their own, they've represented their own people by saying this is what we want. And what the people want is what the House of Rep has done. But now, the Senate has done quite something that is different from what the House of Rep has done. And now, the House of Rep had to actually go to, take the whole thing that the Senate has done as theirs too. Admit that what the Senate has done is what they want. But and the people in the House of Rep are more than the people in the Senate. So what is going on? That's what the questions Nigerians are asking. Is the will of the people no more? The question is, are they the representatives of themselves and not the people? So that's the question. Because now, if you see what is going on, now the people are not happy. Because Nigerians want a situation where we can see these results in real time. And all the indices, if you look at all the indices in 2019 reforms that was taking place that the Muhammadu Buhari administration did not sign, in 2022, that when they wanted to sign, the NCC actually came out and said that there is coverage for 93% of all the wards in Nigeria. 93% coverage.
So you believe that this claim that the government is saying that there might be network glitches?
Okay, if that is going to be true, of course. You know what I'm telling you? If there is glitches,
yeah.
Why is it that we are using the beavers? You know, there was a time they were using the incident form.
Yeah.
Yes, because maybe they were thinking of those unforeseen circumstances and those that does not have fingers and all those things. But on the long run, when they removed the incident form, the beavers were working perfectly everywhere. To show you that when the NCC, the report the NCC gave at that time, that there's 93% coverage, was right.
Now, we'll take a look at the statement of Mr. President after signing this bill. He is calling on Nigerians to have confidence in the nation system. And he said that even during the announcement of results, the electorate will still interact with human beings who make use of analog system that we won't even interact with computer. In other words, he's simply saying that the Form EC8A and the analog process cannot be totally discarded.
You see, like I said before, I'm not against what the president has signed.
Yes.
But I'm against there is a hidden agenda in what they have done.
I believe so.
Of course. That's what I think. Because now, if we have a report, why didn't they go to NCC to find out whether these things are going to work? You need an NCC report to say, okay, we have 93% coverage here in this country. So if we have 7%, does it disadvantage anybody? So what we're saying is now, if you have said we are going to use the beavers compulsorily, no incident form. Now, what has happened to the result? Why can't we post the results? If we are going to use beavers for confirmation of those that are going to vote, now why can't we post the results? The from EC8A, why can't we post it online? So this is what Nigerians are talking about. It's either there is a hidden agenda somewhere, that there is a plan somewhere actually. But if not, why are you afraid?
All right, we have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll still take a look at more criticisms concerning the signing of the Electoral Act. We'll take a look at the criticism of former INEC rec, Mr. Mike Igini, who is also a lawyer, and another legal practitioner, Maxwell Okpara, and a spokesperson from the PDP also had something to say about it. Then we'll also, analyze what the government, the position of the government, and also the position of, the agitators, which involves mostly the people and opposition figures. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show, and this morning we're discussing on the controversial signing of the Electoral Act, which was signed by Mr. President yesterday. This is still the voice of Nedu Okorie. I'll be right back.
That'll be iron and care, be good for your body, Are you not aware? Body back, body day, one, Now your daily friend, for your blood, if it's 10, number 10. Oh, yeah. Clear your day, try to hit on fast intestine. Blood builder for everybody, Healthy body for everybody, Perupina, product of Beats in healthcare.
Madam Matron, now so you go, they look me as I carry this my RN certificate up and down without upgrading it like you, Abi.
Nurse Titi, I don't tell you, say Nurse Lara. They do distance learning. Oh, Thomas Adeomi University, she they work. She can't still go school online. Very soon, if I tell you, she go get her BSc nursing and leave you behind.
Alele, make her go register sharp. Don't tell all my friends too. This is a big opportunity for all my nursing friends.
Now so, for just 200,000 naira per session, you, Seth, fit get BSc nursing for Thomas Adeomi distance learning. For more inquiries, call the number 0803 357 8369 or call 090 231 30170 or visit our website at www.tau.edu.ng.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. You're still listening to Diamond Breakfast Show, where we're assessing the controversial Electoral Act and how it affects the 2027 election. Now, if we take a look at the remark of Mike Igini, he said that this proviso only benefits those in power. Now, for those who don't understand the context, this proviso is actually is a provision that permits INEC to make use of manual recording of results in place of the electronic recording of results in place where it doesn't work. So this all right. So this proviso, according to Mr. Mike Igini, is saying that it only benefits those who are in power, those at the helms of affairs. Maxwell Opara also said that the retention of the manual collation as a backup is a technical way to institutionalize electoral fraud. PDP also said that it is anti-democratic and betrayal to Nigerians. All these are just criticisms. But the government is saying that, okay, should those places where the BVAS machine doesn't work, does it mean that election is scrapped in those regions?
No, you see, that's a question. If the BVAS machine is working perfectly, at least we have experimented it from 2000 and at least we're using the 2023 election.
Yeah.
And it has worked perfectly. Why are you going to tell us now that, e-transmission of results cannot work? Is it possible that e-transmission of results cannot actually work where the BVAS is still working? So now the problem is you are putting the electoral officers at the polling units, you are putting them in danger. Because the danger there is that those people at the polling units, now you've actually cited two provisos that are different. Some people will stand with, posting the election results real time, and some others will stand for the manual. Now, the electoral officers are at risk. Because now, if these people say you're going to actually post the results, you are going to transmit it real time for them, and this person says you are going to use the manual, which one are we going to take? Now, so there's confusion somewhere. And this is going to put the electoral officers in danger at the polling unit level. So if we like it or not, this provision, the two provisions that has been said,
yes,
are going to cause problems for us in this coming election. Because there's no way you want to do it where somebody, okay, now I know that there are two provisions. One is the e-transmission, one is for manual. I'm going to see that, okay, yes, this e-transmission must be done. What if the agents of the parties now say, okay, this e-transmission must be done, whether you like it or not, and you insist that you're going to do, and what we have been trying to avoid over time is where people use the EC8 form and take it where between taking it from the polling units to the collation center, where there is going to be what? Some form of fraud happening. That's where everybody is trying to avoid.
All right.
Now, so these provisions have not actually made us to be able to avoid such issues that is going to happen, because from the polling unit level to the collation center, anything can happen between those parts. And now you're telling us that you are still going to use manual, and that is where people are agitating.
So just like some other individuals, they're saying that if we have been using the manual process for a very long time and there are lapses in it, we've discovered some lapses in it, why continue? Since the manual process does not instill trust and confidence in the people, why continue?
And even the argument is, if BVAS is working, that is going to authenticate, the person that is going to vote.
Yeah.
That e-transmission cannot work.
Now, there's one aspect.
Because this aspect that it's talking about now, and what about what happened with the incident form?
Now, one aspect that a lot of people are not really talking about is the occurrence on the election day. Now, when irregularities go on, who are those that are saddled with the responsibility? The security agencies, then subsequently the judiciary, when one has been found, guilty of whatever crime, election crime. Now, to police the process of electioneering and to also who does the burden of proving irregularities, who does the burden fall on? Because most of the time it falls on the people who don't have power.
That's the problem with the Nigerian election. The burden of proof now depends, is not falling on the candidate. The candidate that is in the election.
Candidate or the electorate?
The candidate. The proof, because now the candidate has to prove
that he was cheated.
that he was defrauded, or that he now needs to prove it in court. And the court now says, okay, what is the proof? Now you have given them two provisos, the manual collection. This manual is going to make sure that the judges cannot use, assuming there is just one proviso where there is e-transmission. It is easy for you to be able to prove your case in court. Now you are going to use manual. You go to the courts now and you find out that you have 3, 4, 5 different ECH from A that is there.
With
from ECH different members, different firms, 3 firms with different results.
Now, the big question here is, how can we get it right? Because talking about intervention, some activists are asking the US and the UK government to come and intervene in all this. And we've seen their kind of intervention in security issues. What do you think that can be done as regards intervention to ensure that the confidence of Nigerians is, well strengthened?
So let me tell you, the UK or the US or the European Union cannot come down here and come and tell us what to do about our voting. It's left in the hands of Nigerians. They have tried their best.
Yeah.
Most of them have been supporting our elections. They have been supporting, campaigns for good governance. They've been supporting our campaigns to orientate the people on election. I've seen so many of them that has been sponsored.
Yeah.
This is the little they can do for us. The whole issue is in our hands. What we do today is going to determine what is going to happen in this country tomorrow, and what we are going to leave for our children. So it now depends on Nigerians. The burden is on Nigerians to be able to fight for their rights and make sure that this kind of electoral reforms they want are put in place. And you see, this is what we have been saying. Now, you see, the president has gone on to sign it in a speed of light without looking at all the provisions. I'm not sure that the president himself has sat down to look at all those electoral reform acts that were done, or the amendments that were done, actually, clause by clause, to be able to be sure that this is what's going on. But because they want those provisions to be there, the manual to be there. You see, we know what is going on, and we know what is going to happen. So, but it's left for Nigerians to fight for their rights.
All right, let us look at another clause in this bill. That's the mode of party primaries. I think people are not looking at angle. It states that the new provision states that only direct primaries and consensus are recognized. And what do you think is the implication of this?
See, I was flabbergasted with that, because I don't understand why, because even in the Constitution, you understand? We were talking about direct and indirect. Now, the electoral amendment has gone to say direct and consensus.
Yeah.
Now, the direct and consensus, actually, are they really what the provisions that should be used?
Because if you look at direct and consensus, it does not, in fact, the Electoral Act does not have power over that provision again.
Yes.
It is now the party's constitution.
Yes. So now they are forcing the parties to be able to do what direct and consensus.
So they can just handpick anybody, or people say that issues of like godfatherism and all that will become prominent.
Of course, because it is who they want now, not who the people want. Direct and consensus. Sometimes you just find it difficult to know that you cannot hide your vote to be able to vote for the person you want. It is
now the determination of the party.
Of the godfathers. To tell you, okay, go and queue up at the back of this person.
Do you feel it is not healthy for democracy?
Of course it does not. It does not in any way. This is not the kind of democracy we want. But sometimes I have said this over time.
Yeah.
That when there is going to be good governance, it depends on the National Assembly what they want. If they want good governance in this country, we're going to have it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Adeyemi. Well, shortly we'll take a segue to a story that concerns Kwara State. Earlier I said we'll be taking a look at the reports concerning Dangote's premonition or prediction, but we'll take a look at a Kwara story from the APC, and we'll have a brief conversation with a chieftain of the APC that's talking about Alhaji Mohammed Mariam Al Hassan shortly. But we have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll take that call from, Alhaji Al Hassan. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show. I'll be right back.
koríko tẹ̀lé bá ti tẹ̀ òtún gbérí mọ́ ìdè kára ó lè lúbúlúbú sunsun pa èrúkù sarajọ mẹ́rin gágá àjàká kò tí sọkọ fún ẹ̀fọ́rí òtútù ìbàtàrà ní olágọ̀ ara kàṣàkàṣà knockout agbára ju agbára lọ ìdè kára ó lè jagunla bí olùgbòǹgbò gàjà tó ara jà tó kìtìlẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ìlú akẹ́gbà Tuyi Pharmaceutical Industries Limited àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká gbóògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é bára rẹ̀ ò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta bá ṣàfihàn ọ̀ àfi dókítà rẹ̀.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. Yes, a chieftain of the Kwara State All Progressives Congress APC that's talking about Alhaji Mohammed Mariam Al Hassan has alleged that party stakeholders in the state were not informed about, the consensus affirmative arrangement of the party executive in the state. And he's actually calling for transparency ahead of the, forthcoming State Executive Congress, and is still calling on officials from the party's national secretariat deployed to the state to ensure that the process reflects openness, credibility, and participation. In fact, I think he is appealing, is aimed at strengthening internal democracy at the party. He wants everyone to be carried along. Well, we are still trying to connect with Alhaji Al Hassan. Hopefully we get to him, and when we get to him, we'll have this conversation. But let's take reaction from you, our listeners at home. The number to call to participate in our conversation is 0913-655-6952. Okay, I think I've gotten to Alhaji. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Alhaji Al Hassan.
How are you?
I'm doing good. You're welcome to Diamond FM this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please. All right, let's take a look at the call for, about the consensus affirmative arrangement of the party. We would like to know what your call actually stands for as regards Kwara State APC.
Number one, thank you for bringing me on your program.
You're welcome.
Which we sincerely appreciate. As your media, this is the fourth set of realm, is part of the democratic partners with what is on the ground, because you are the one to educate the society. And the question is, the question you ask, you see, the APC leadership in Kwara State was just trying to play smart. And it doesn't work. There's a laid-down procedure for the actually affirmation is also part of it, but there was never a time that stakeholders in the state were called for a meeting or deliberation to agree which of the modes or pattern that APC Congress is to take place in the state. So they were just trying to ambush the party or for their own selfish ends from some selected few. Which is supposed not to be is the democratic interest or institution that's supposed to be protected, not individual. I get me and as a person. You know, the system had to leave everybody. That's the message I want to put on the front.
Okay.
The fact that it is sitting today does not mean be there forever. Those that did yesterday, we saw what became of them today. So, and we cannot fold our arms to allow the avoidable situation to be perpetrated in the state. It destroys the democratic system. A lot of people have paid supreme price in the past to be able to make sure this came on board. And the democratic system we're enjoying today.
All right, Alhaji, if I got you correctly, what you're trying to say is that ahead of the State Executive Congress, some executives of the party were handpicked and some others were sidelined. Is that what you're saying?
The question is this. See, let me tell you one thing. Now, like from my own local government, particularly my own ward, Savage Ward 3.
Okay.
3 parallel congresses took place yesterday for the World Escorts. One session was talking of affirmative of the existing escorts.
Yeah.
The other ones were saying, no, those that were there should go. And the other, so there's a confusion.
All right.
That was deliberately created by the leadership of the party of divide and rule. And this is what we are trying to avoid. There's no method the generation coming behind. The fact that you already achieved what you are enjoying today does not mean you destroy the bridge that you have crossed.
All right.
The unfortunate aspect of it is that, which, in fact, if you have opportunity and have a full-time conversation, we should come up and let the world know, and even Abraham himself is the leader of the party in the state, that look, you surround yourself with sycophants. He's surrounding him that cannot look at his eyes and tell him to get it on the ground. But maybe, there's a Yoruba proverb that and in Rasulullah hadith that no action is judged except by intention. You say intention is not good.
So you're saying that the Kwara State APC lacks transparency?
That transparency.
All right.
That transparency, and they are not interested in the genuine interest of the state. Otherwise, they will have to do what is due because it will boomerang. It will boomerang. You have to safeguard the avoidable situation. That's why I don't think that I'm suffering to another thing.
Now, as a member of the APC, as a stakeholder in the Kwara APC, what are you suggesting to, as a recommendation to move the party forward?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, let there be transparency and observance of due process. Whether that emerge, I'm in search of personnel management. And it's the interest of organization you have to protect. If it collapses, you go with it. So, and we need collective participation, effort, and contribution of everybody to make the whole system work. So I'm not interested that you are my religion, you are my tribe, you are from my religion. No. The most important is posterity and the prospect of the party and the people of the state.
All right. Sincerely, I would love us to have a very robust conversation, hopefully live, and we'll hope to have you. All right. This is just a preamble.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Alhaji Al-Hassan.
You are welcome, sir.
All right. All right, you've just listened to Alhaji Mohammed Mariam Al-Hassan, a chieftain of the Kwara State All Progressives Congress, airing his, opinion concerning the conduct of the party, and he's calling for transparency.
In party politics,
yes, please.
This has been the problem with political parties in Nigeria. And, it's a grave one, actually, because if you have a ruling party where the governor is the leader of the party, and people in the party are coming to complain about transparency. What is the conduct of their leader? And the conduct of their leader is a question. Because how can you, in good conscience, you understand, come out, some of your stakeholders are not happy with the process at this point in time, at this 21st century. So we should be ashamed that this kind of thing is happening especially in Kwara State, where we all come from. Because now the governor himself is the leader of the party.
Yeah.
The transparency has to come from the governor. The transparency of the party, the way the party handles issues, has to come from the leader of the party. So now, is the governor doing the right thing to make sure that there's transparency in the system of the congresses? Look at what happened in Ondo State. You don't know that Kwara somehow people are peaceful. Look at what happened. Look at the way they beat them to stupor. They killed 2 people in those congresses because of lack of transparency, and this is what is happening in Kwara too. You see, sometimes I'm ashamed of some of these political parties and the way they handle their issues.
Going on in APC right now, what should be the conduct of the opposition, especially the PDP in Kwara State? What should they be doing? Because much have been said about this ruling government.
The PDP in Kwara State already, I think they've done their own congresses.
Okay.
You understand? And I think it was rancor-free. And, for them, as an opposition, is just be able to tell people what they want to do, actually. Guide the people that this is our own program. I'm expecting their own programs. What is their own programs? What do they have to offer the people? I think that is what the opposition should be trying to sell to the people at this point in time. Because if you see that the ruling party is in disarray, especially now that they are doing congresses, now the opposition party should be able to sell all their mandates to the people. Tell the people what you want to do for them. Let them believe in what you're doing, and you can see what is going to happen going forward.
All right. Now let's take reactions from our listeners at home. 09136556952. That's the number to call. You can also send your WhatsApp message via 09136556864. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Officer Mutu. You're welcome.
Morning, my brother.
Yep.
On the issue at hand, first and foremost, all politicians and all the party are one and the same. How can you say a governor that is taking care of the governance should be the party leader again? We are just deceiving ourselves and we cannot make any headway, except when we go back, when the chairmanship of the party is the leader of the party and the governor is for governance of the state. In those good days, in 1979, who are you? Being the governor or the president when the chairman is talking? You dare not try it. So, but Obasanjo brought us to where we are now, and everybody is following him line, hook, and sinker. So, except we depart from it, if we continue this way, we are going to defend ourselves. And on the issue of the National Assembly, your best is there. He's saying out of it, where is he from? I mean, your guest, which of his representative or the senator that comes to confirm with him that what do we do in the national? All these people, they know themselves. It is when they disagree among themselves that we start hearing use and cry. But if they also steal us together, they collectively steal us. So we should not be fooled by these people.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Officer Mutu. Let's take more calls. 09136556952. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Isa from Ilorin.
You're welcome, Mr. Isa.
Thank you so much. On the what happened in quarantine, APC. I think it is better we hear from those who actually conducted that delegate election.
Okay.
So that because we can't get here from one person. Maybe it's because it is satisfied. It doesn't favor him. That's what's complaining. We have to hear from both sides. At the National Assembly, I had a brother in our anytime you want to call me, you have to clear the mountain because there is no network. To me, what National Assembly has done, okay, I'm asking the question. Those people there, are you going to differentiate them? Because they can even vote. So if this manner something is not involved, to me, I think this is not a misplaced priority. It's needed because of our state. We cannot give permission between now and the election now. That's my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Isa.
So, what Mr. Isa said is true. There are some places like that. But what we're saying is majority of the places. Do you understand? Those in our, are they not voting? Even in his own place that he's talking about. Do they vote? And they have to be what? They have to be accredited with the beavers.
So you're saying that those places are minimal and serve as collateral damage?
Yes. The beavers, don't they use beavers? The beavers is mandatory for them to be able to vote.
Let's take this call, please. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bamdelege.
I'm calling from Namibia.
You're welcome.
Yes, happily enough, the last speaker has answered your guest. The person I think is representing the union here. Not at all. I agree completely with what Nas has done. And the president finally needed. President has a month to accept the objective.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, in my sponsor tester, we have to count votes physically in America. That those who are opposing this act are calling America and Britain to come and help. They can't. We stopped a long time. What I see now is that we deal with emotions and not facts in Nigeria. We are not yet mature for time the something or whatever you call it.
All right.
Because coming to the APC man, yes, some of us who are not the party members, we are less concerned. We are Nigerians. If any party mess up, you know how to look for another party. So there's no problem about that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamdelege.
What I have to say is that, you see, now, we are not talking about whether emotions or not something. What we are saying is, if you look at what has happened,
yes,
the statistics, I give them a statistics. I want somebody to prove me wrong on that statistics. That the NCC, the National Communications Commission, gave 93% approval for networks in Nigeria. And if they give 93%, I want somebody to give me, to disapprove that statistics. So if you have 90%, well, the 7% that is remaining, is it not negligible? For goodness sake, that's what we're saying.
Let's rush what we have this morning. Let's move on to our final topic. Currently, the Naira trades around 1,300. It has been, coming down from 1,004. And right now, it is standing at 1,300 to $1. And many Nigerians are still hoping that it will continue, while some who benefit from the foreign exchange have high hopes for a surge. However, Mr. Aliko Dangote, during the launch of the Nigeria Industrial Policy in Abuja, predicted that the Naira could reach 1,100 to $1 this year. Remember, Femi Otedola made similar statements some days or some weeks ago that the dollar would drop to 1,000 Naira. And he has also called for stronger protection for local investors. And despite the whole occurrence going on in the oil sector and the daily distribution of oil from his, but what do you make of this projection? This is the second time it is coming in a space of days. What do you make of this?
I think
many are criticizing him that,
Oh, no. You see, you can't just wave Dangote apart like that. Oh, come on. You see, it's not as if, because these people are into the mainstream of the economy. They know the nitty-gritty of what is going on in the economy. You see, even if you don't agree with him, there was a part he talked about stability of power.
Yes.
You understand? So everybody in Nigeria knows that as soon as there's stability of power, this country is going to be prosperous. Whether the government is doing well or not. As soon as there's stability of power in this country, you see, Nigerians are industrious. They are ready to do the work. You see, there will be gainful employment in this country. In fact, more than America, if there's stability of power. And let me tell you, what Dangote has said about the forex.
Yes.
You understand? The foreign exchange. That's the truth. Yes, in the sense that on the long run, there is limited imports going on in the oil sector, especially where there is a whole lot of imports that goes on. Because of the Dangote refinery, there has been limited import of petroleum. So because of that, there is no way the dollar is not going to strengthen over time. You understand? It will strengthen over time because the oil sector takes almost 80% of the forex when they are going to buy the imports petroleum.
Okay.
So that is why he's telling you, because as soon as there is limited number of petrols that can be imported, now it will ease the forex demand. As long as it is the forex demand, then the naira is going to strengthen.
You made mention of electricity and power as a major challenge, which Dangote also highlighted. Do you think, do you see someone like Dangote coming to invest in that sector the way he invested in the oil and gas sector?
Well, I don't know, because
it's a big challenge, not just in Nigeria.
It is, in the sense that, I think there are some stakeholders there that they are brutish.
Yes. They don't want the sector to excel.
Well, in this country, we know what is going on. I think some stakeholders there, they are brutish. They don't allow people to actually have free hand to be able to help the country. If you look at what what's his name? There's one particular Hashim that was investing in the private sector. He's trying to build a private energy
power plant
in Ogun State.
Okay.
And he has been doing it. He's supplying most of the people Baton Rouge, the same thing. In Abia State.
Yeah.
He's supplying. So as soon as these are decentralized, because some of the governors now are taking the bull by the horn to actually, because of the passage of the Energy Act, to be able to actually help themselves in their states, to now distribute the licenses to different local distributors. So as soon as these kind of things are happening, we will get there one day. But I know that there are some brutish stakeholders in the energy sector that have not allowed electricity to be stable in this country.
All right. Thank you so much for your submissions, Comrade Adeyemi. Let's take messages. At this point, we have tons of messages. I have to rush through them. All right. This one says, good morning in the studio. The electronic system was in the last election and it's all went well. I don't know why changing it now. Surely more is to eat. This is from JC Obaso from Ofa. All right. Thank you for that message. Sakaoniyo Muritala says from Alori says, I greet you people in the studio. In fact, there's no problem from using using the e-transmission and using the form, because that's what we used in 2023. The same will be applied to incoming general elections. Okay, thank you so much for your message. R.O. Ekundayo says, good morning, the host and analyst. Until we have a sincere and patriotic politician on board, we will keep complaining about our election, because even before it was passed, they have cited the loopholes, and that is what they will work on. I'm not in support of total electronic transmission, though, because it will give room for hackers to do their things. All right. David Williams says, good morning to you and the guests. I don't know why we are disturbing ourselves concerning 2027 election. APC will complete their 16 years in power as PDP. But one thing I know, after election in 2027, APC will split and realignment will emerge. This is what most people are saying. Okay. Yinka Adekoya from airport area says, good morning, your guest is... Okay. You are downplaying the desperation of our politicians and the issue of hackers. Anyway, the president has signed it. Let all the political parties concentrate their energies on how to gather votes, which is more important. Okay, more messages. But let's take this call, please. Hello, good morning. All right, keep it coming. 09136556952. We have less than 2 minutes to round off on the program. This one says, good morning, Mr. Nedu. We all know what's possible. My brother at Owo, anytime he wants to call me, he has to... Okay. We've taken this Isa from Ilorin. Thank you so much. Mr. Samuel from Airport says, good morning, the anchor and the analyst. Why is it so difficult to conduct fair and credible elections in the country? India, the largest democracy in the world, and other democracies conduct their elections without problems. Why don't we copy from them? I think what we should concentrate on and try to eradicate is vote selling and buying, voter apathy and thuggery during elections. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel from Airport. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
This is Adaji Chai calling.
You're welcome.
Thank
you.
You see, in 1983, there was an election.
Yep.
And it was considered the best so far. And that time, we used manual transmission. You see, all these manual transmission that we're talking about, it is because we are not honest. And these people want to put themselves in power perpetually. If we are honest and sincere, we can even use manual. And this manual and the electronic transmission should even serve as a check and balances to each other. If we cannot get elections transmitted to some place because of network problem, then the physical
process, yeah.
be done. Yes, it will be done. And everything will go fine. But because they are not honest, we just want to publish. All these are people want to publish the return in power. That's why they keep on doing all these things. Thank you, God bless Diamond. Take the attitude, Nigeria will go forward.
Thank you so much. Elder Yemi Ashaju says, it is very good that the president has signed the new electoral reform into law. We must not forget that the days of notification of elections has reduced. He also says... Yep.
300.
Yeah, he also says that it is a noble act that the president did not waste time before signing it. We must be mindful of the fact that the number of days, to notify political parties of election have reduced to just 300 days, which starts the day the bill is signed into law. The election will fail if alternative arrangements are not made for glitches or areas where there could be network failures. We are not doing electronic voting, and as such, there could be no electronic transmission of election results. What your guest is saying is simplistic and somehow emotional. And he also says concerning the APC, said the APC chieftain you spoke to got it wrong with his approach, because one would have expected him to take advantage of the party's conflict resolution mechanism before coming out to condemn or demarket the party. Let us not trade blame with what we heard from one party. We need to hear from the other party. And concerning the third issue, Nigerians must understand that when Naira was exchanged at a low rate to dollar was when Naira was being subsidized. Today, the strength of the Naira is determined by market forces, and that is adding vitality to our economy. All this is according to Elder Yemi Ashaju. All right. This is where we'll be drawing the curtains on today's edition of Diamond Breakfast Show. But before we round off this morning, please kindly give us your pattern shot.
Odogu, this issue of, having a transparent election.
Yes.
The transparent election depends on the National Assembly, the way they want the elections to go. Because why we are talking about the e-transmission is because from the polling unit to the collation center, a lot of things happen. And when those things happen, you don't have proper EC8 forms. Some people have EC8 forms that have been pre-filled. Some of them have it. So before you go from the polling unit to the collection center, that's where the issues happen.
All right.
And now you cannot go to court with the e-transmission because now it is the manner that is authentic and is going to that they are going to use to go to the courts.
Well, for me, I would say whether manual or electronic, the most important thing is the sincerity. I think the electronic mode just makes the process faster compared to the old days. I think it makes it faster in terms of, and once we get it right from here, there will be advancement to more technologies.
Yes.
Because we are talking about, we are not doing electronic voting. We are getting there.
What we are going to do is to make sure that, we keep updating what we are doing.
All right. My name is Nedu Okorie. I have to sign out right now. It's been a wonderful time speaking with you. Let's make Nigeria a better place to live in for you and I. Have a wonderful day.